masked up as well. Sea of masks in front of me. Green lanyards and masks.
Yeah. Okay, so getting shot then, everybody, so you can see. All right, getting shot. And then over to you, Stuart, in terms of the concept and the design.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Sorry I'm a little bit late. So, yeah, the concept behind the set is a mix between Lafayette Avenue in New York and those sorts of Boston, Massachusetts, big stately homes that are so prevalent even now. When I had to put the two shows together, obviously one is set in downtown Skid Row, Hellsville, and the other one is set in 1860s in this kind of beautiful house. So I kind of steered the narrative slightly, as it were, with the directors, and we've sort of come up with this concept. The house that stands at the back is kind of, for Little Shop of Horrors, is meant to represent that kind of slightly crumbling architecture. It's got a little bit of that sort of Tim Burton Gotham City Batman feel to it, where they just used to build on top of everything. It's meant to look like it's built in a very traditional way, so it's very, very structural. It should look very solid, but obviously has gone to rack and ruin over time. The pediment that sits on the top has got all sorts of ivy and overgrowth sort of coming through a little bit when you get water ingress in chipped masonry, so stuff starts to grow out of it. I'm sure you've all seen it in sort of railway lines and other things. Actually, I can give you a perfect reference, because if you step out of the front of Boa and you turn left and you walk down to the bit of ground there, you'll see basically what it needs to look like. I think, do you all know what I'm talking about? That big sort of Georgian building that stood there with all of the hoardings around it at the moment. So that's the kind of feel that we're going for. I think that was Birmingham's old railway station. From a sort of a feel kind of idea, the pillars, everything would have been made out of stone, so it had been made very solidly. And the back wall with the windows, where the windows sit, is basically, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, so James, please forgive me. It's plaster on lath or lathe. It's basically the strips of wood that they used to plaster onto so that the plaster would adhere to it. So the idea is that when we're in Little Women, the house has basically been locked up for 100 years. No one's gone in there. Nature's sort of taken over, and the plaster has gotten water into it and so fallen off of the lath, and the lath is sort of broken down, started to rot down. So we've got sort of, we can see through it, as it were. Just trying to think of the other parts of it. So, and then within that sort of back wall structure, we've got this really beautiful sort of ornate door frame, glass panels in the windows, which of course again have all decayed. I've actually just I 3D printed yesterday the little bit for the model. There you go. So that again, it's sort of wood that's all rotted down. The paintwork is all peeling off of it. So you've got some really nice sort of chances to do that really complicated, well, I think it's really complicated paint technique where the paint's lifting off of the wood. And the same goes with those sort of window frames as well. So yeah, I think within Teams, I've actually put a load of reference for you guys to look at, sort of paint references, paint finishes. The main thing with it is to give it a real sense of grandeur. It needs to feel grand, but it also needs to feel like it's gone to seed. And that's the thing that I really want to get over. I want it to ideally look as naturalistic as we possibly can make it. So that'll be a good one for you guys with looking at paint finishes, paint techniques. This battle, James, if you agree with me, I think will be won quite a lot with its scenic art and what you guys come up with that. Does that sort of all make sense? A sea of nodding masks. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? No? Happy? Yeah? Fabulous. Anything else that you want to add, Stuart, to that?
I'm just having a little look here now, because James, we're just concentrating on the house, aren't we? At the moment, we're not going to talk about anything else.
Yeah, just the house.
Yeah, just the house. No, I think that's pretty much it. I'll say the same thing to you guys that I said to the DSM and the production manager. The main purpose of this house that we're building is really for Little Women. So it really does have to have the feel of those. I don't know if anyone on Instagram or anything follows those kind of like abandoned places Instas. It's got to have that sort of feel, like one of those places that's not been touched, not been opened up for, like I say, like 100 years. So yeah, really enjoy it. And as a designer, I love texture. So that's another thing to maybe think about. Texture is really awesome, and your lighting designer will love you if you put in that texture, because it will give them loads of things to kind of skim lights across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Stuart.
No worries. Thank you very much. Good luck. Look forward to seeing you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.